we register to vote. We register at AA or any kind of meetings like that. In order to get a library card, you have to become a member of the library. All those areas requires, everywhere in society requires some level of commitment in order to be part of that thing. Mm-hmm. That in mind, should churches require membership?
And so yes, I think ultimately it's a good idea to have church membership.
What would be grounds to ask someone to leave a church?
You shouldn't have to ask somebody to leave a church. If they feel like they want to be there, let them be there. So there's not like grounds to tell somebody to get out of church.
I think you have to go back to like the WWJD. What would Jesus do? Do you think Jesus would require a membership to get into his, to follow him? In a way, I guess the apostles were kind of an exclusive 12, but I don't think that he was out preaching that you had to join or you have to get, your tithing of 10%.
Should churches request for people to make a more deep commitment as far as joining the community? And I think the answer is yes. When somebody's a visitor, they can be as transient as they want or as uninvolved as they want. It's important to have the option to say, hey, this is you making a conscious decision. Like, if you're just visiting, if you're just coming in, I'm going to show love to you and nothing else. Anything else you want to have is a conversation we can have. Right. But if you're going to step in and be a member, we are going to have those conversations.
It's a different level of commitment.
Yes, exactly. It's kind of going to the next level and saying like, hey, we're opening up the floor. This is our story. These are our emotions. I think that's important for churches to have that level of commitment available because it also bestows trust. Because being a member of a church is, if we're members of the same church and you do something and it seems like it's kind of bad, I'm going to assume your best intentions and we can talk about it. Right. Whereas if I don't know you, if you're not a member of my community, I might assume different things, and maybe that's wrong, but that's just kind of who I am, I guess.
Gotcha. So if there's no membership and everyone that comes to church is just there together, and they're all just joining, and they've been there together for years, but no one ever really commits to being a local body or local community together there within the local church. Even in that, is there any reason you would see in the Bible, or just your opinion, that there'd be a reason to throw someone out of that community or that local church?
I don't think so. I mean, if they're acting out, then you need to find out what it is that's troubling them. What is it that is causing them to act out? The answer is love.
Is there ever a reason in your mind to then throw someone out of a church? Oh, I can already. Wah. All right.
Somebody mad with mine? Yes.
I don't know. Mostly with what he's saying, because I think ultimately the things that I think would end up becoming a problem in a church are probably those things that we really consider like little sins. When you start thinking about things like gossip and kind of like slandering one another, those kinds of community issues, those are the kinds of things that to me really warrant someone leaving the community because they're damaging to everyone around them.
Require membership. I guess it would probably just be up to the individual churches how they would handle that. I mean, all the different churches have, different ways of handling things. So, I guess it would just depend on each church.
Okay, if you heard that a church wanted someone to be a member before they could do things in the church, would that make sense?
Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What would be the reason at that point? Would there ever be a reason in your mind to throw someone out of that membership?
If they done something that was against the Bible, and for something, I think there's probably rules maybe in the New Testament about that, about fellowshipping someone.
So if a church what if a church of members had and they were exclusive, all right, if you want to come to our church, you need to become a member, that kind of thing, and there were requirements for membership, and they found somebody within their membership that was committing adultery, and they then had to talk to that person, and that person didn't want to quit committing adultery, and they asked that person to leave. Would that surprise you in any way?
No, and I think that is the biblical view of that they would go and talk to that person first, and then if the person did not repent, then they would disfellowship that individual. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
So would you still be as understanding if you heard that they were asking a member to leave if they found out that person was living and sleeping with his girlfriend?
Well, if that was their beliefs, that particular church, and that's what they believed in, then I would say they would have the right to their beliefs.
So as long as it's stated at the beginning and everyone understands when they're going into it what's required,
right,
then you'd be okay with them following the rules.
Sure.
Okay. All right.